Hi everybody, and thanks for joining me today. I am working at the bottom of this pass again on the background, which I think is out of focus flowers. And we'll see. There's not too many colors here today, but they're kind of, interconnected with each other. So we'll see sort of how much progress I managed to make today. I have passed what I was hoping to make this month. Might even get to 300,000 by the end of March. We'll see. I think I have one more session after this one, so it's possible. Even with the fact that the the World Figure Skating Championships are on for the last week of March, and I'll be watching those. It's gone pretty well. I apologize in advance. I probably won't talk as much today. My throat is a little sore. I've been fighting a virus for the last few days. I am on the mend. I'm feeling better, but it did make my throat sore. I had to take a couple of days off work. Even though I work part-time, it of course fell on the days that I do work. That's all right. Such is life. First time I've had to take any sick days off since I started back last August, so I guess that's not too bad. And it wasn't terrible, just a bit of sore throat, bit of coughing. The fever was so mild that it wouldn't register on a thermometer kind of thing. I just felt slightly off. Things felt colder than they should be, so I knew it was me. It was a little bit too warm. Not bad. Fortunately, no nausea or dizziness, because those are the worst symptoms, in my opinion. Being tired, sore throat, that sucks, but it's not too bad. But, when you're nauseated or dizzy, that's terrible. You can't do anything. So fortunately, I didn't have that. I was sort of not well enough to go to work because, for one thing, my voice, like I said, was hurting, and my work involves a lot of talking since I answer the phone, so it would not have, I had to rest it. And like I said, I'm on the mend now. I'm feeling almost back to normal, so I thought I would make a video for you all so at least I can keep up with my schedule. I wasn't feeling well enough to work, but I was feeling well enough to do some stitching those days, so that was kind of nice. Partly why I think I was able to make a bit more progress than I expected. All right, so purple here. Purples and some blues here. So there's kind of a motif that sort of, there's a circular bit at the bottom and it kind of radiates out around it. And I'm just kind of cutting through it here, I think, before I move over and do a bit more further up. And then it'll be time to move the frame again, but I don't think that'll happen until after I take the whole thing out and I show it to you all as my monthly update post. I got further than I thought. I might even finish end of April. We'll see. Get some holidays from work. They're taking a week off. So we will see. I think last time in December, they said they went on a cruise. And then this time I think they're going to visit one of their grown kids who lives out across country. see their grandbabies. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't think we'll be going to visit family this year. My husband is very tired because they've had to do a lot of travel this year. The guys are away, in fact, several hours drive away because they are moving one of the radio stations to a new location. So obviously that is a big undertaking. They're going to be gone for a week. Move all the equipment, all the phone lines, everything. They've got to, and then they've got to rehook everything back up in the new location. So it's almost like building a brand new station, radio station, which my husband has done before. So yeah, I'm just kind of cutting this off around this grid line here. As you can see, the colors kind of change. There's more of that purple there and then less of it here. Or the periwinkle, I would say it's kind of a blue-purple, like a very light violet color. So there's more of that there, and there's more of other colors here. So I'm just going to kind of cut it off between them. I'll come back and do this part later. So I'm going to unthread that for now. Okay. So I was hoping to reach 298, like I said, and I'm well past that, and 97%, and I am more than 0.5% past that. Yay! I apologize if it's a little darker in here, the lighting. It's a very overcast, gloomy day today. The temperature has been a bit of a yo-yo the last few days. We've had days that are well above freezing, and then the next night it's 20 below. And like I often say, I would prefer if it just stayed cold and then steadily rose instead of this jumping all over the place. Okay. We had freezing rain the other day, so that was fun. That was actually one of the days I was homesick, though, so at least I didn't have to drive in it. Yeah, the problem is when things start thawing, people start driving as if there's no ice on the road. And they're less cautious than when it's full winter, and that's when you have accidents happen. Guys, the roads are not bare yet. They have nice big bare patches, but yeah, you still have to be vigilant because there are still ice patches too. If I can manage to get to 300,000, then like I said, I may be able to finish by the end of April. That will be fun. I have some people who have been here since I started this, so they're almost as excited as I am, I think, to finish. There was someone in the Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group saying, you know, how do you guys actually finish stuff? I always want to start new things. I said, I celebrate the milestones. Every 10,000 stitches, every %, every 0. If you're not using an app, then you can celebrate, you know, the by page, which is how I used to do it. You know what? If you prefer new starts, there's no wrong. No one's saying you can't do that. It's your time. You know, spend it how you like. I've seen some where people have 100 or more works in progress. That's definitely not for me, but you know, if it makes you happy, you're not hurting anybody. Yeah, one thing I don't like about the temperature all over the place is it tends to trigger more headaches because the barometric pressure changes. Yeah, I don't like that very much. A lot of times, in fact, I can tell when a storm is coming if I get a headache. And I check the forecast. It's like, oh yeah, that and my bad ankle hurts. And I wrenched it really bad. Oh sheesh, like 12 years ago now. But yeah, it still bothers me in certain conditions. It was not good. I had to wear a brace for like 2 years. Oh, there's still quite a bit of this color left. Over 1,600 stitches. I don't think I have any zeros due yet. I had a few earlier. At the very top of this pass, I started the last bits of the peacock's tail. And so there were a few zeros there. I haven't finished his tail yet. I'll be working on that next month more. I just did some because it was at the top so I could do this other colors below it. This background bit. Yeah, it was really weird. I don't know whether to call it a cold or what, because I didn't really have much congestion, which was kind of nice. Except when I lay down, because of course, my husband was saying, "You snoring last night?" I said, "Well, yeah, it's because I was congested." I'm opposite other people. I snore less when I'm lying on my back. You know, usually most people snore more on their back and less on their side, and I seem to be the opposite. I don't know why. My great grandma, in fact, my dad's side, she sewed a huge button on the back of her husband's pajamas. It was too uncomfortable for him to lie on his back, so he wouldn't snore. So she didn't have to be poking him all night to make him roll over and stop keeping her awake. My grandpa used to snore like a cow. It was insane. Honestly, he sounded like he was mooing in between in between snoring sounds. I don't know how my grandma slept next to that. It's like I said, she wasn't hard of hearing. I mean, she was kind of at the very end of her life, but not when we were kids and we were camping with them. And yeah, my grandpa's snoring woke us all up. Yeah, my grandma lived to be almost 92. She was like a week or so shy of her 92nd birthday. And by the end, her hearing was not what it used to be, but I remember when I called her, it was like her 87th birthday or something, to wish her a happy birthday. And she says, "That's right, 87, I'll be old soon." I got my start with knitting from her. She taught me the very basics. We used to live closer to them, and then we moved away. So I had to learn the rest of it on my own, but she taught me how to cast on and the knit stitch and then how to cast off. So I made lots of square and rectangular things for a long time because I didn't know how to increase and decrease. I actually figured out the knit two together myself. My sister learned too, but she didn't really keep up with it. Okay. Get the new one. So I believe I'm at less than 7,000 stitches left. Check my stitch pal because I don't trust my mental math. Yeah. Or 8,000, I should say, yeah. I'm about 7,600 or so stitches, so it's getting there. Okay, just double check I'm in the right big square. Yeah. Don't want to be stitching in this square when I should be stitching in that one. And that would be wrong. There was someone who was saying, you know, gridding takes so long, is it worth it? And I said, well, I've never regretted doing it. Because it cuts down on my mistakes, and when I do make a mistake, it's easier to figure out where I went wrong. But luckily, they actually posted a picture because somebody noticed that they had accidentally gridded with pardon me, a grid line every 9 squares instead of every 10. That would have really sucked. So they had only gridded maybe 1 page worth, so thankfully. Okay, it's like a new color to take out. Two. I'll probably end up with more than one thread of this color. It's kind of scattered around a bit. Definitely more blue down here. Unwind. It's getting a little twisty. Should actually have gone the other way, because I always want to park in the upper right hand corner so I don't mix myself up. And you can park in whatever corner you want, just my advice is to always stay consistent with it. When I first started, oops, that's over 2 squares, that's not right. Oh, and the rest of it is over 1. Oh, what's this? Is that a knot or a fuzz? Looks like a fuzzy. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I've stitched this whole thing over 1. Over 2 is not going to work. Oh dear. That would be weird. Yeah, finally starting to feel more adjusted to the time change. I would love it if we would quit doing it all together, but there's a very, very tiny knot in this thread. You might be able to hear it popping through, but it's so small that I think I can get away with it. I think that's another color I don't have out yet. Yeah, another blue. Trying to line these ends up and I keep pulling the wrong one. Ooh. So I'm going to do those two there. This one I was going to use a short little piece for those. Missed one. There we go. This one I'm going to cross as I go. Since I'm going to go down in that hole instead of up, since there's a thread that's kind of going down in there already. I don't want to kind of have a tug of war between the strands going opposite directions. It can tend to pull things out of place. pin stitch this far enough away from the edge there. Knot's going to end up on the front, so I'm just going to tack it down over here, and then that makes sure it doesn't, when it's that close I do that, because I had one where I thought it was on the back, and then later as I was running my finger over it I could feel the knot had worked its way to the front because it was so close to the hole, and I ended up having to cut and rip back and fix, and it was not good. I wasn't happy. So now I just make sure when I get close that I force it to go to the back so that I don't have it potentially showing up again later. My guess is I pulled it taut and it made the knot go to the back, but it was, like I said, so borderline that, yeah, later when it relaxed, it kind of worked its way to the front. Those as well. Oop. It's the end of the thread there, kind of wrapped around. So again, yeah, I'm going to end up with multiple threads of this color. That's okay. Yeah, with 1,600 stitches remaining of this color, I would need several strands anyway. The wrong way. There we go. Alrighty. I'm gonna cross this one as I go so the threads ends up at the bottom. If I wanted it to end up at the top, I'd probably start at the bottom and cross as I go because of these. I find these really skinny little runs of color tend to look a little neater that way generally. When it's wider strips, I tend to not. Some people crosses, they go for every stitch. I don't. It's just a matter of preference. Last time when I was putting this back in the frame, I went really close to the stitching and it was kind of awkward. Yeah, I try to put it over as far in as I can, but I have to be careful not to be too close to the edge or it makes working those stitches really awkward. And I kind of overdid it last time. I was able to work those stitches, but yeah, it was a bit of a pain. I'm not sure how long it will take me to get this mounted into a wall hanging once I finish stitching it. That might take me a few months. I will have to remove all my grid lines and give it a wash and iron. And then pick out fabric. There we go. Having trouble finding the right place there. Well, I would love if this thread would last enough for the last 3 stitches there, but Gotta be pushing it. Use another short piece there. Okay, so thread this along the back. Make sure it doesn't come up to the front. That would not be good. Yeah, that's not right. Okay. I'm really close to the edge here. It can be a bit of a pain sometimes. This is why I prefer to do pin stitches most of the time. There we go. Oops. Darn it. Oh. Yeah, kind of caught it in the loop there. I was making like a giant satin stitch on the back, which is not what I was trying to do. There we go. I don't do pin stitches near the edges because I don't want them to, yeah, come through to the front there. Oop, that was wonky. Yeah, I pierced the fabric. Not what I wanted. What I'm going to do is these 3 stitches that are kind of here by themselves, I will probably do a separate strand for them. I could do it with one, but I almost always have leftover pieces to use up anyway, so I will probably just do that. Actually, looking at this, I think, see, no, I guess I will. It'll close in that one above it a little bit, but not on all 4 sides, which is what I always want to avoid the most. I mean, I've already got the thread out anyway, so I might as well. back into some purples there. That color's there. As I move back up. Oops. There we go. Do. So many blues in this area. And that one there. Oh, actually, I can do that one too, now that I think of it. And then park below it. Right there, because then I'm going to take this strand, kind of do that. All right, closing in on that 200. sew another strand in there. Okay, let's see, how long is this strand? Oh yeah, this is still a decent length, so I'll go a little bit over 200 today. So I'll do this one and those. Park that up here. And that'll be 205. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you here next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.